guys, welcome to this new video. Today we are going to talk about Kubernetes node component. Today we are going to deep dive into a node component. So we are going to see exactly what are the elements that are located inside the node. We mentioned earlier that a Kubernetes node is just a virtual machine that lives inside a cluster, or we said a Kubernetes node is just an overlap around a virtual machine. Now, inside that node, what are the elements that we have inside that node? So in this video, we are going to dissect all the elements that we have inside that node, for example. So let's start. The first important element that we have inside the node is called kubelet, right? So kubelet, and this is just like one of the main, element in the node. So kubelet communicate the master node and manage container on the node. So kubelet is actually the element that manage the containers inside the node and inform the cluster, inform the control plane. So inside the node, and Kubernetes is an agent, right? Kubernetes is an agent that runs inside every single node. And that agent is there to make sure that it manage container and update, right? And update the control plane. So whenever you send an information to the API server, for example, to create a new port, that API server send information to Kubernetes. Kubernetes will create that port and report to the API server that the port has been created, so that the API server can report to you that, hey, the action that you requested has been satisfied or not. So Kubernetes is just an agent that runs inside the node, and that agent is there to make sure that it manages container inside the node and also report any information of those containers to the control plane through the API server. Now, let's take a simple use case, right? So Kubernetes is like a caretaker of the worker node, right? So yeah, people say that's from the managers, the person that take care of the worker node. His main job is to make sure that the container are running smoothly. That's the main job, like what I explained earlier. So imagine the Kubernetes as the worker node supervisor. It takes instruction from the master node. When I say master node here, we are talking about a control plane, and ensure that the container on its node are up and running according to the instruction given. If the master node tells Kubernetes to start or stop a container, Kubernetes makes it happen. Like I said, it receives instructions from the control plane and actually perform those instructions inside the node. And Kubernetes is just the agent that manages containers, right? It's the agent that manages containers and report everything back to actually to the control plane through the API, for example. So when I said earlier, if you want to delete, for example, if you want to delete a container, you are going to ask the API server, hey, I want to delete the container, and the API server will relay your information to Kubernetes, and Kubernetes will go ahead and delete that container, and Kubernetes will relay the information back to the API server, and the API server will let you know that the container has been deleted, for example. So that's just like a two-way communication. It's just like you are asking somebody to go do something. The person will go and do that thing. Then the person come back and report to you that whatever you ask whatever you ask him to do has been done. If you ask somebody to go drop your car at the mechanic, the person will go take the instruction, go drop your car to the mechanic, and then the person will come back and report to you that your car has been dropped to the mechanic. So that's just how Kubernetes and the control plane function. And Kubernetes main function in the cluster, in the node, is there to manage container. When we say manage, it means that it can create, it can stop, it can start, it can restart. So it can, manage, when we say manage, like it takes control and gives you and tells you everything that you want about the container, or do whatever you ask him to do. It will go ahead and actually do it. So I hope you so, and another important element that uh, we didn't talk about, we still have two important elements. So the next element that we are going to talk about is actually container runtime, right? So this is a simple one. Container runtime execute containers such as Docker or container D. So container runtime here is just simple. We mentioned earlier we have been talking about containers, and we know that for you, for example, to manage or to run Docker containers, you need something called like Docker. So container runtime here, it can be Docker or it can be container D. It is just actually the tool that the containerization tool that we install inside the node so that a container can get created. So it can be Docker, it can be containerd, but nowadays containerd is the one that is being utilized. So inside the node, we have Kubernetes, we have a container runtime, and that can be either Docker or containerd, for example. Now, we have another important element called kubeproxy. So kubeproxy actually maintain network rules and handle communication between ports. So kubeproxy is actually the element that manage networking inside the node, right? It manage networking inside the node. So it's actually that allow port-to-port communications because it is actually the element that manage network inside the node, for example. So uh, just to recap what has been said so far. So inside the node, we have three important elements. The first one is Kubernetes. Kubernetes is actually the element that manage containers and report back to the controller plane through the API server. We have Docker runtime. We have container runtime. Container runtime are just like Docker or containerd, because we are talking about container. So of course, you need at least Docker install or containerd install on your virtual machine for you to be able to run containers. Then we have kubeproxy. Kubeproxy here is just an element that actually manage networking inside the node. So kubeproxy will manage network inside the node. I hope you like this video. See you guys on the next video. Thank you.